Right? Full minute of dings for Tina, of course. Only Tina gets a full minute of dings. I think I've out-dinged my arm. Right, hello. Hope you're well. Welcome. If you've never seen one of these videos before, then you are welcome. You're wasting your time. Honestly. Midlife crisis in action. I still can't get my Bluetooth to work. I don't know what that's about. I've got a bit of a cold, so sorry. Snotty nose. Don't come in the shop. Rubbish record, and you'll just get a cold. You blow your nose, and then water comes out your eye. Like, not tears, but I don't know if it's snot. So I blow my nose, and then my eye fills up with water. I mean, I don't suppose anybody watching this is a ear, nose, throat, and eye expert. Anyway, right. Sorry. You have to really pretend to throw that away, but it's going back in my pocket. So I'm not pretending. I'm not pretending anymore. I'm going to come out as someone who blows their nose and puts their hanky back in their pocket. I'm coming out. That's it. I'm out of the closet. I don't care. Let's have a ding. If you're planning on coming out of the closet for anything today, why not? Good luck to you. A ding for you. Right, what else? Got me script. Here it is. Oh yeah, got some records. Got some interesting ones. I bought a few more collections, so I've got some good ones coming up. Some in today and some in next week. I always say that, but there are some genuinely good ones. And there's some, cheap rubbish. So if I bought your record collection, you have to say to people when you come in to buy a record collection, you have to say, look, I don't mean to be disparaging, but some of the stuff here is not going to fly off the shelves. Do you know what I mean? And some people are alright about that, and some people go, well, I like it, and they go, well, it's rubbish. Right, timing. We'll do me timings. Get through the records. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, a ding. Thank you to Bill, who's given me a big list of people to ding for. It's great, isn't it? People do me work for me. So we've done Tina. Unbelievable. Talk about Tina more in a minute. Chaz Newby from the Quarrymen. Ding for you, mate. Algie Ward from Tank. Ding. Bill, I'm trusting you telling me the truth here, because I haven't checked this, right? I'm getting a bit big for my boots now. I'm getting me researchers to do the work. And, I'm just not checking it. I'm just doing it. Oh, maybe I should be on this morning. Now that What's His Chops has gone. Maybe you should get me on. And I'll just do... I'm over to Al from Collectables 5. Let's have a ding for the dead Al. Who's dead today? Oh, it's James Lewis from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He gets a ding. And King Arrington from Metal Church. He gets a ding. I bet you King Arrington was not born king. I bet you King Arrington. You have to ding every time you say the name. I bet you was born like Paul. Ding for them. Right, what else? Yeah, Tina, I was just playing Nutbush City Limits. Sad, isn't it? And I didn't really know that much about her life. Unbelievable, fascinating. Wow, what a strong, just role leader of a model of a woman. Incredible. And no doubt she faced all that usual prejudice for someone who was, a single mom at that time, black in her 40s in the States, in the southern states. Wow, she's done an astonishing story. And, this stuff is amazing. I do have some Tina, and I do have some old 60s stuff. It's really much more bluesy and less soul, but more bluesy than I thought. Wow, powerful. I mean, her voice is right up there, isn't it? Obviously with Aretha, and then with other really influential singers, Marvin, Otis. Oh, a tear to my eye in a minute thinking about all these amazing singers. Yeah, so I just played in the Dukey. I just played a bit of Tina, and I followed it up with Young, Gifted and Black, and then I followed that up with It's Raining Men. It's Raining Men is a perfectly valid song, right? Homer Simpson's favourite song, so that's why it's got to be in the jukebox. But every time it comes on, it always brings a smile to my face. I absolutely love it, so I'll put that on. The story behind me putting that in was, I don't know if I told you, but I wanted to buy a Ray Charles single for the jukebox. Well, actually, it was a Ray Charles B-side, his version of Sidewinder by Lee Morgan, which is just, it's dynamite. And I've always loved that since I first heard it. And it's a bit pretentious though, isn't it? You know, I'm hunting down a Ray Charles B-side. I mean, that is just so pretentious. It's cool to like all sorts of music and just go after it, but the pretentiousness is when like you start showing off, yeah, it's a Ray Charles B-side for me. Anyway, if it's any consolation, the A-side was a track called Booty Butt. But anyway, so I had to go to the States to buy this single. So I bought this single, and the guy wanted, it was like $15 for the single or something. And the guy, I wanted to get a jukebox one. Anyway, the chap had a limit, a minimum amount. So you had to, and that happens all the time. So it was like $1. I had to order something else on top. And there's all this interesting rare soul stuff. And I must admit, a lot of it was like, I was going, I don't know what that is. And then as I was scrolling down, just like It's Raining Men, and I was like, boom, jukebox cut for that, in. So, and I have to be honest, I was excited about getting the Ray Charles single, but I was more excited about getting It's Raining Men. It's one of them songs where you just imagine if life was a musical, right? You know, the way you walk out the street and you just suddenly start hearing that, and everybody stops to start like, oh, dancing with umbrellas. Do you remember flash mobs doing that, like in like Houston Station and stuff? That's the thing of the past, isn't it? They used to do flash mobs and they do dancing, and I remember I'm sure I was working in London at the time when that happened. I tried to start my own a couple of times, no one joined in. I'm all for a flash mob, It's Raining Men in the shop, if people want to come in. It has to be organised though, it's not just a bunch of old idiot men just like dancing around like dads. Can't have that. It's got to be. So if anybody's a choreographer, come down the shop. Right. I'm jabbering on, as always. What else is that in me little thing? Oh yeah, come to the gig on Saturday. Right. I've left this by the coffee machine. Look. But Bartholomew, the music is absolutely amazing. It's kind of, what will I say? Keyboard driven. If you like that Where Foxma stuff on that Where Foxma label that I stock, and Castles in Space, and how can you not? Because it's all brilliant. Come down and see Bartholomew. I've been listening to his tracks, and they're just mesmerising is the best way of putting it. You're just like totally like, you're stuck and you're watching it and you can't help. So it's going to be a life affirming experience. That's free. Come and support local music. Come and support a local record shop. I can't do any more. I can't bring it to your house. You know what I mean? It's 4 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm thinking, you've gone and dropped the kids off at dancing. You've gone and done your shopping. You've gone to betting shop. Don't worry, nobody knows. And, you can clink past the offie on your way up here. And get your bottles of gin in between your crisps so they don't make a noise. I know. And then come up, watch the gig, go home, go out for a pint. Whatever you're going to do. Yeah, come and watch the gig. Can't do any more. Come down to Bob's shop. Bob's got some great new books in. Come down, buy. Honestly, shop local. It's not begging, I'm just saying, come and use it. If you want to and you're thinking about doing it, come and do it. If you don't, no problem, don't do it. Welcome to the flick through. 10 minutes. Right. Welcome to, I need to learn it in sign language, don't I, for the people that don't BSL, people that don't put the sound up. I need to learn like hello so I can at least communicate with them. Okay, so, right, what have we got? 12s, LPs, bit of a mix. I've got an absolute ton of 7s, look. I know my dad watches these. Hi, Dad. And my dad did say to me when I was a kid, hey, son, if it can fall over, it will fall over. If you feel like you're putting something, leaning something up, hanging something up, whatever. I think they call that sod's law, right? If it can fall over, it will fall over. And I just now use that all the time. But I'm sorry, Dad. I failed. Look at this. Look how I'm stacking me right. Teetering. They are teetering, right? they're gonna go. Anyway, this is meant to be the flick through. I don't care. Start at 11 minutes, shall we? Hello, welcome to the flick through. 11 minutes. This is a new record. Right, Ronnie Biggs. No, not Ronnie Biggs. Pistols with Ronnie Biggs. A Punk Prayer by Ronnie Biggs. Not a fan of all that nonsense. Obviously the pistol stuff was great, but all this sort of malarkey. If you want to read a great book, read Steve Jones, innit? Read his what's his name? Read his autobiography. Woo! Interesting. I'm still getting through all this free stuff, which I've had for about 18 months now. There's still more. There's loads of it still. And there's loads of T-Rex and a bit of Sparks left. So these are all basically in new condition. So come and get some, what would you call it? New old stock. I mean, it's second hand, but I think the guy, when he bought it, just put them on the shelf. So they haven't been played, but they're all like original free comps. Like a best of free comp for £8 from back in the day hasn't been played. Sweet Desolation Boulevard. Is this do you know what? I like the Sweet. And all the tracks that they wrote themselves. Basically, you know, as good as all those other big heavy rock bands at the time, weren't they? With their own stuff. 12 inches, they're not in any particular order. 12 inches. Remember that advert? I have these DVDs on in the shop and they're like 80s adverts, and that's in one of them. Look at that. I think she'd probably use more hairspray than my sister seemed to use in about the 1980s. Woo! Surprised we haven't all got asthma. What's this? Crawler, 1977. It's not Whitesnake, is it? I think it's like the guys out of Backstreet Crawler. I think. Yeah. Anyway, £15. Argent. All together now. £20. That's all them and their family, isn't it? The Animals. This is it's on Starline, so it's not like a first press UK one, but it's like I think it's a European one, slightly later, but not a lot later. But this is a great album. Story. I put it on, played it all the way through. I think it's their first LP, isn't it? Story of Bo Diddley is basically it's great. It's how Bo Diddley just said they sounded rubbish, which is hilarious. And then there's one where I'm sure maybe in the story of Bo Diddley, and they're introducing all the bands that they played with, and one of them's the Merseybeats, and I've got made me think of Billy Kinsley, and I've got my stuff up there. So I was playing a bit of Billy, lad. Well, playing a bit of Rockin' Horse, because Rockin' Horse is really one of my favourite bands. This is great. So come and get your Animals. And it reminded me of that story of the Animals going to the States for the first time, and everybody thought it was going to be like Beatlemania, but nobody had told anybody that they were going, so nobody turns up. And if you look on YouTube, you watch a video of them going over the Brooklyn Bridge or whatever, and there's or whatever bridge to get into Manhattan, and there's nobody there, and they're all hanging on the back of a car like that, waving at nobody. Relics. The Floyd, lad. Love a bit of the Floyd. I don't know why I went into Cosmic Scouse accent then. They're a true Cosmic Scouse band, aren't they? If you had to list like a handful of Cosmic Scouse bands, then I mean obviously it's Love, and obviously it's the Floyd, the early Floyd, lad. And who else? I don't know. Cat Stevens, Tease and the Firecat. Texture Sleeve. I don't know if this is you just stay there. Pink Rim. Still got a bit of a niggly back. Woo! At least I think that's what it is. You never want to know if it's anything worse, do you? You just think, oh, I'll be alright. Your legs hanging off. It takes your mum to go to the doctors. Oh, no, I've said that now. My mum will phone me up tonight. What's wrong with your back? You should get to the doctors. I'm alright, mum, it's just a bit niggly. How long have you had it? Ugh. It's fine. Prince and Revolution. Prince, And the Revolution bases, not as good as a Wink. This is a UK first press. I've only ever seen one of these with the poster, and that's the one I've got in my collection. It's not a particularly rare album. It's just that you don't see it with the poster. But no one does that. All over the place today. PM Dawn. Set Adrift on Memory Bliss. That's your thing. Do 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 do. Rod's everywhere, isn't he? Oh, I guess there's some Tina. I'll get you some Tina out in a minute. Did anybody see that story online about that girl who'd fractured her neck rocking out? Did you see that? I don't know what I'm laughing, obviously the poor woman. But she was like headbanging too much. Sorry. I'm going to use a brand new tissue. You know, you start trying to find the dry bit. That's gross, isn't it? And then you get your hands and go, I'm 51-year-old man. Time to grow up. No chance. Right. Yeah. So she, back in the pocket. Put up my sleeve like me now. I know I've tried that joke before. Right, yeah, so she damaged her neck, didn't she? Like kind of rocking out with the guitar. And there's a few things that sprung to mind as a result of that. I remember in some of the crappy bands I was in, got absolutely nowhere, honestly, student bands. I got so drunk before the gig had even started, which I think is quite common. And there's some great YouTube videos of like drunk drummers and drunk guitarists, and obviously it's horrendous for the rest of the band. Anyway, we got on. This is in Sheffield. I think it was like my mate had lived in Sheffield. He'd come to see us, and I fell off the drum stool before the songs had even started. I don't even know if I finished that gig. I think I did, but I just remember him laughing a lot. But also it reminded me of the story about the New Model Army, where I can't remember the lead singer. And if you ever know any New Model Army fans, you'll know that they're probably telling you the story right now, or correcting you of how you got it wrong, or how you're not doing the dance properly. You know, they got the New Model Army. I lived with two lads who were both New Model Army fans, and one would start doing the dancing, and then the other one would go, "That's not right. That's not how you do it." Anyway, didn't he electrocute himself by singing? And he created, obviously there was a short in the cable of the microphone, and with his guitar on, and apparently the only thing that saved him was his clogs. So I thought, I'm glad he didn't get killed by being electrocuted on stage, but being saved by your clogs. So there you go. So New Model Army fans and New Model Army, it's good for something. You know, not my sort of music. I have to be honest, it was alright, the music, it was just the fans it kind of I encountered when I was a student. They were all knobheads basically. Sorry, but they all were pretentious. I'm sure they're all lovely people. I'm nothing against New Model Army. I don't really listen to their music. It's the fans. Yeah, so that's that. What else? Oh, Tina. I've got some Tina in stock. Picture disc of Let's Stay Together. Oh, that's good, yeah. That's the one. That's her first single that she released on Capitol, wasn't it? So there's a picture disc of that. Look at the look on Tina's face there. I've put, this is how most women looked at me in the 1980s. All right, love. What? Yeah. I didn't say all right, love. Of course I didn't. Crikey. I'm probably too busy sat in the corner, like, being a coward. Ike and Tina, Out of Season, 1968 soul record. This is actually really quite bluesy. It's really cool. Ooh, Tina, baby. Sorry. Gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Tina live. Look at all the pop stars there wanting to be close to Tina. They all knew there was You know, she the boss. Classic Tina. Songs, attitude, and pins. Obviously, it's just not, you know, it shouldn't just focus on any physical attribute of anybody, apart from perhaps Tina Turner's legs, which I think is reasonable, right? I've done it. Right, that's that. 21-27. What else? Yeah, all these sort of people of this genre are now popping off, aren't they? And, you know, sadly, I think we all know, to face the music, that's the kind of age we're getting into, where all these greats from the 60s and the 70s are all coming up to an age where, you know, they may start popping off. Can you imagine when some of them start going, oh God, it's dare to think if Ringo's the last surviving Beatle, can you imagine? And why shouldn't he be? But, you know, what are the generation beyond us going to do when it's not going to be the same, is it? There's not going to be all the tributes to, for example, Gary Barlow, is the Atomic Kitten. I was going to say Steps, but sadly that guy from Steps has just died, hasn't he? Natural causes, Paul, what's his face, and only in his 50s. You don't know the minute, do you? Yeah, you don't know the minute. I'll just leave that with you for a minute. This is about buying records, contemplating life, and your place in the universe. Oh. Got nothing else to say, I'm just waiting for the clock to get to 23. It's easier to put it on the notes to say 23 minutes. Oh, here's the other quick thing I've got in my notes, look. Hawkwind and Sparks. Somebody's asked me about Hawkwind and Sparks. I was in, 23. I'll put 23, but I'll get to the flick through in a minute, right? I'll get to the 23. I'll get to the collectibles in a minute. I was going through town the other day. I was going through town the other day, and I would go to Central and up that way, up to Bowl Street, and I went past a leather shop, which if you're from Liverpool, you'll know exactly what I mean. And there was somebody in there. Don't know what they were doing. I mean, clearly it's not a shop that sells anything, is it? It's clearly some front for something. Maybe it's like Mr. Ben's shop, and you go in and you try on like a John Motson jacket, or like an Al Pacino sort of long style jacket. What was that movie? It'll come to me in a bit. But yeah, you know, the long black jacket. You try that on, you go in the changing rooms, and you're transported. Maybe that's what it is, and you get absolutely transported to another parallel dimension or something. Oh, time travel. Maybe the leather shop in Liverpool is, you know, you go in and you time travel. I think that's reasonable. I mean, all the other conspiracy theories out there, I think that's perfectly reasonable. But it's a hypothesis, isn't it? Well, it's not a hypothesis, so you can't really test it. So, you know, just a theory at this stage. Can't do anything with it. But maybe we should do a pop-up record shop in the leather shop in Liverpool. Oh, that shop's amazing. Right, yeah, okay, we'll get to 24. Where are we? 25 minutes for the flick through. 25 minutes. Welcome, if you're here for the collectibles flick through. Don't bother. You've wasted all your time. Don't bother. Right, okay, here we go. Got some interesting, I've got loads of sevens, and I've just started pricing some up onto thousands of the buggers. Spanish first EP, 1964, in really near mint condition for Das Beatles on Odeon. Not super rare, but just really nice condition. I've got a couple of copies of this now. A couple of different versions typically. I've got some New Order singles in as well. Thought about putting it in the jukebox, and then I thought no, because I don't really like it, so it's not going in. Yeah. Rod Stewart, Gasoline Alley. Not the texture sleeve, sadly. But it's like the first repress of it, 1971, so just not a textured sleeve. But near mint, beautiful copy. Freddie and Montserrat. This How Can I Go On? I've got the 7 and the picture disc, and I think I got a couple of copies of the 12 because I bought them when they came out. This is one that's come in the shop in a collection, and nobody bought them because everybody bought Barcelona, and then the single he released after that was this. And of course, everybody just wanted him to do, you know, a load of Deos all over it, and of course he's not. He's living his dream, doing some classical music. It's all, actually, it's a great album. If you've got to give it a listen and obviously get beyond your rock pop Freddie bias, and it's really good in that genre. I mean, obviously Montserrat Caballé is amazing, but it is a great record for that genre. So nobody bought that, so it's super collectible. It's not like Kate in the collectible. It's just every time it comes in, it flies out Kate. So I've got quite a bit of Kate in now, and a load of 7s. Rush 2112. This is early 80s Dutch repress, and the price of it is £21.12p. Oh, boom. I mean, what more do you want? It's not a pentagram, is it? It's a star. But it looks like a pentagram. And then you've got them like in kimonos. Look at them. This Rush. You know, the temples of Syrinx. I mean, that's it. Life. What you need is Rush. Oh yeah, Hawkwinds. Some dude asked me about these Hawkwind albums. The Chronicle of the Black Sword. Hawkwind. Yeah. 25 quid. Right, I've no idea why this is this expensive. But the best of OMD, this is near mint condition. I've sold these for over 30 quid before, 35 quid. They're quite, obviously it needs to be reissued. But it's a lot of conkers that, so I'll leave that to you. Wish You Were Here. It's a repress of it, but it's only an early repress, 35 quid. I think it's a good price for a UK early repress of Wish You Were Here. It's got the beveled, I know, with the, but it hasn't got the. You'll know what I mean if you're a fan of that. If you're a fan of that album. Let It Be, Greek press. So you know when you get records and they have it in the language like written on. Oh, so here you go. Oh no, I thought it was written in Greek, but it is at the bottom. You love that sort of stuff. Did I say about the dude who came in the shop and he was from Japanese records shop? Came in from Japanese records shop in Tokyo, bought some really high-end collectibles, took them back, took a tote bag. So now one of my totes is flying around Tokyo. I probably put it in the bin at Heathrow, but you know. There we go. Did the Hawkwind. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 50 quid. I think that's the one that dude asked about, so I sell them online, don't I? So dude asked about it. Right, all my messing about means I haven't even got that many records. Look, this is like absolutely world class messing about. Can you imagine me in a proper job? Can you imagine the procrastination involved in me just going, yeah, great, okay, let's fly it up the flagpole, see if the cat licks it, and then a week later, have you done that work? Yeah, no, I'll just think I can't find the email. Honestly, I was the world champion of that. And now I run my own business. Bootsy baby. Best to talk. Well, it's going to be a long one, this, but I don't care. You love it, really, don't you? Yeah? Love it. I had someone come in the shop yesterday. Thank you. Will remain nameless. I know you're going to watch this. But came in and was cracking jokes about the video. And I was like, huh? I was on a different planet because the internet wasn't working and we were struggling a bit yesterday with stuff like that. So that was a bit of a pain. I didn't even, because I do these and then load them up and then move on with life. So I forget, you know, what I'm even meant to be doing. But that was very kind. So thank you, mate. 1974, Ronnie Lane. Had a bit of a life. Playable, plays fine, snap, crackle and pop in the background. This is a great album. I've only really started listening to this recently. I'm putting it up there as like better than the Faces stuff. it's that Ronnie Lane obviously sound that you get on the Faces albums, but it's just all that. It's brilliant. So give it a go. Do you know what? Shall I end it here? I've got a load of Zepp, right? So I'll tell you what. I'll do that for next week's video, but it's in. I'll tell you what I'll end with. I'll leave the Zepp for next week because that's exciting. But I will show you I've got this stupidly priced record. Depeche Mode, right? Songs of Faith and Devotion, right? Live. I'm almost too embarrassed to show you how much this is. I'm asking for this. But I'm going to show you. I don't care. Look at that. What? What? Yeah. And there's a Zeppelin one in there, or a Zeppelin related one, which is similar price. I'll show you that next week. Why don't we end on this? I've got these, there's two things to end on. I get these sleeves from the old 78 in, but look, they're all from old Liverpool record shops, and I was looking for the one, for the Kensington one, you know, where the Beatles recorded that, the very first record, when they were just it was just George and Paul. I was looking for that. I can't see it. Let's see if I had one. Lewis's. Dave's Music Stores, the Arcade Street, Liverpool. Howard Cycles, Bridge Road, Litherland. Funny, isn't it? All the record shops were like cycle shops, or they sold electrical items. Crane and Sons. Look at that. Crane and Sons, Liverpool. Cranes was where, I'm sure, where Arlie Williams owned it, didn't he? El Myerscough, South Road, Waterloo, 57 South Road. So that's cool. They've got a couple of other South Road record shop bags. Myerscough, South Road, Waterloo. Smith's, Lord Street, Liverpool. Bennett's, Parker Street, Liverpool. I buy my records. Radio and electrical appliances. Bennett's. No? I don't remember that. I was well gone when I was a kid. You may remember that. I can imagine. We're going to imagine me mum and me dad and my aunts and uncles now watching this going, oh, I remember that. You remember that? Tell me where. I don't remember it, so tell me. Davis's Music Stores. 1 to 7 the Arcade, Law Street, Liverpool. Davis's. Yeah, the one in Kensington, I've got the name of it written down. I can't remember. It was, but there was a shop in Kensington, wasn't there? Where the Beatles got theirs done. You could go and get your own stuff recorded. Right, I'll end on this. If you're always on the hunt for new music like me, because there's always just so much out there. I was sat in the shop talking to Liv, who works on a Saturday. She's a very accomplished musician. And we were talking about music, and long story short, she ended up pointing me towards Penderecki, right? Penderecki, who basically designed his own way of scoring. That's the best way of putting it. So he was able to then write scores for orchestras that you couldn't really notate in Western music notation. You couldn't really do it. So he basically invented his own style of orchestral music. Now, when she played it in the shop, because it influenced Radiohead and what have you, and when she played it in the shop, I instantly recognised it from being from the soundtrack to the film The Shining. So if you know that, you'll know it. So it's very discomforting, sort of almost shrieking style strings that really give you a sense of kind of tenseness, tension. I love that, and I've always been trying to find the soundtrack to The Shining, but it's so ridiculously expensive. And I realised when I bothered looking at it that it's this guy Penderecki. So you can buy some of that score in separate records. So I bought this one, which looks depressingly, it is an Auschwitz oratorio, Polymorphia. I don't know if that's the name of the track or the style of music or whatever. Give it a listen, but you have to give it a bit of time, because I think it's tough, but it's really interesting. Give that a go. Right, I've gone on long enough. Come to the gig. This probably won't load up till tomorrow because it's like 36 minutes. So I'm gonna go. Right. Stay well.
Here's the plot synopsis.
I don't know what that is. Plot synopsis for the video. Stay well. Be tolerant. Love one another. Bye.